as I'm aware, there are no negotiations concerning a consultancy contract with Regila Vega. However, I must state that the chairman of the supervisory board did sit with Ms. LaVega, together with the caretaker of the shareholding company, Mr. Peterson, and she forwarded a proposal, a consultancy proposal, which they were in discussion with her. That discussion was held in December. However, after December, I did not receive any information pertaining to the negotiation with her. In fact, yesterday I called Mr. Peterson. He came to my office and I inquired concerning her situation. As you stated, her contract is ending the end of June. And I was told that they were keeping a shareholders meeting where they will discuss her situation specifically. So I haven't, I don't know if the meeting was held, but I will be asking and see what was discussed with Ms. LaVega. Actually, I also have spoken with Ms. LaVega and asked her what her intentions are. In fact, she called me. And seeing that she has a vast experience in the tourism, as you stated, we will be in discussion with her to see how she can assist in a consultancy area with the setting up of the SCA. What we are looking at is this tourism development plan, where she has a vast amount of experience, and together with her and the foundation, the supervisory board that we have at the SCA, we will be developing this tourism development plan, whereby we will have clear the vision and the objectives, and also we will implement procedures in order to safeguard our tourism industry, that we will not be faced with a situation whereby each time, because there are different ministers with different views, that this platform will ensure that the tourism products will be intact and there will be continuity. Another question was...
the supervisory board.
Oh, the supervisory board? Pertaining to that? What is happening with the supervisory board? Is that your question? Yeah. Actually, at the present moment, nothing is happening. What we know is that some of the terms of the members of the supervisory board are expiring, and that situation, we are monitoring that. And you know the situation between the supervisory board and the present, actually, the situation that between us and them, we will be looking into appointing our people in order to ensure that the activities at the airports are safeguarded. We will look at not appointing our people in the sense that we will look at those persons that will ensure that the operation of the company and the interests are upheld and secured.
Thank you, Minister.
But in fact, like you said, the appointment will have to go through the corporate governance. Is a procedure that has to be followed. And once you get, once they are vetted and they're approved, then they will be approved in a shareholders meeting, the appointment of this person that goes on the supervisory board.
We recently, I think it was Friday, but late last week, I got a letter from the board of TALEM in which they reported on the process to arrive at the appointment of a CEO for the company. 4 candidates apparently were interviewed. 2 of them have been proposed to the shareholder, for the shareholder to take a decision as to whether the shareholder wants to appoint one of them or not. The next process is that the shareholder will take the decision this week. The Corporate Governance Council will then be informed that the shareholder intends to appoint candidate X, include their CV, because that was one of the things we asked for them to forward, because they just forwarded the names without the CVs. Yesterday, I got the CVs, so today the advice to the council will be will be made. Simultaneous to that, the person that is selected will be submitted to the VDSM, the National Security Agency that does the screening, and the screening would then need to take place for the candidate, because that would be one of the requirements as well for the candidate to be appointed. We've had for some time situations where persons who were in office, even in government and government service, prior to the law going into effect, up till now, some of them have not yet been screened. And that is one of the things that hamper the operations in companies, that if there is a need to appoint someone, that you, by the time you go through the Corporate Governance Council and have to go through the screening at the VDSM, you can be looking sometimes anywhere between 5 and 6 weeks before that screening is completed. So that's the process that now needs to take place.
Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you Be Sure? Be Sure.
Bob, I can understand why you're parking so carefully. Of course, when you can get 80% discount on your Be Sure car insurance. But that's overdoing it, Bob.
Are you Be Sure? Be Sure.
Yeah!
Life is a journey full of connections. You're in safe hands, even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there, because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want more.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000, get us real easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Here we go.
This is freedom, this is life. Happiness is all I'm seeking. Carpe diem, I am seizing every day, not just the weekend. Here's to all the good times that have come to last. Here's to living in the now.
When you can afford what you crave, life just gets so good.
Alive, and I'm feeling good, so good, so good.
KFC. So good for everyone.
Thanks, BB. The department, the CPS department, is normally the one who's issuing the statistics. I haven't seen the statistics recently, but the numbers on the Dutch side are still fairly low. It is clearly a priority of the ministry. We just are in the process of concluding a test case in the Fort Willem area where we purchased over 5,000 OV traps, and those were distributed for free, and they were monitored in the Fort Willem area. And what we found is that for people who used the OV traps correctly, who maintained them correctly, they were very effective. Unfortunately, what we found is that the community, for example, would have these OV traps or lethal OV traps set out, but then right next to it, they would still have buckets where they're collecting the rainwater from their gutters, and that there was a problem there in terms of them eliminating breeding grounds within their own environment. So it's become very clear that the war on mosquitoes, and thereby the war against Zika, is very much a war that cannot be won without the public engagement in that fight. We are working closely. As a matter of fact, I have a trip planned soon, trying to work together with both Curaçao and Aruba in terms of developing a communication plan, because I don't believe in wasting the people's money, and I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. So, for example, in Curaçao, they've produced an animation video that explains about how not to get bit by mosquitoes. So the cost for us to adjust that video to use in St. Martin is obviously much less than developing that ourselves. They've also produced an information booklet that I believe is very detailed in multiple languages, and we're looking at producing 2 other videos, same type of animation type videos, that would explain about how to eliminate the breeding grounds in your neighborhood, and also about the life cycle of the mosquitoes, and explaining why it's so important to eliminate them in our breeding grounds, in our neighborhoods. So the war against them is very much active, the department's very much active, and what we're looking to do is to make the best impact together with partners. Even I'm reaching out to my former partners in the Caribbean. So, for example, to Spanish-speaking destinations, that they would, for example, fund the translation of those videos into Spanish, and that we could then use that translated version in St. Martin. So, very much on top of it.
So we always need the cooperation of the parents in order to help us to keep that flowing, that they can be at the activities. Because once they're there, then we can work with them. But if they're not there, then it's awfully difficult for us to work with them. The second thing in that, it's very important that the parents understand that these are young people. They get together. There may be friction, there may be things from school, there may be all kinds of things around that may want to create conflict. What we would like you to understand, when your kid comes, they may present a certain situation. Fine, they have the right to do that. But then we would like you to call us, and let us know what is happening and what the situation is so that we can follow up on it.
We are assisting parents also in their role to help them parent. So we are part of the village that takes care of your kids, but we need you on board as well. So it's not like you hand your kids over to the brigade and then say, you deal with it. It is a partnership. We expect them to be aware of where their teen is supposed to be, and that they also encourage the teen to show up when the going gets tough.
Before I leave you go, I don't know if I had asked, because I know a lot of the children that I'm seeing are students, and I don't know if I had asked you what age do you start from and what age do you end with?
Well, they start about 13.
Yep.
13
we
to
have
about
a 12-year-old.
18. We have 12, 13 to about 18. That's right. Yes. So it's that secondary school age range that we are concerned about. Not to say that, individual a little bit younger is not interested. If they're interested, they should come and talk to us as well.
It don't have to be anybody that's going to school. It could be people that not going to school.
We look into the fact that if you have fallen out the system, if the system has failed you, and you still would like to be a participant in something disciplinary, this is a very good alternative for you to find those methods, those skills within our organization. And we do a lot of camping, survival camps, by the way. That was what I was looking for. I couldn't remember the survival camps that we do quarterly. We do them around quarterly.
So those individuals that you mentioned can be part of our team.
Yeah, you don't have to be in school.
Any final last word that you would like to tell the people who listen to your interview?
Well, we will have another open house. We want the community to continue to support us as we support the community. So any questions, they can always come by our office that's located on the Pondfield above Island Finance office. And for information to recruit, to have someone to register, or maybe they want to be a mentor or perhaps a coach or know more about those roles as well, they're welcome to come and talk with us.
I would like to remind the community that we are here and we're building youngsters with our core principles, our core values of respect, responsibility, integrity, commitment, learning life skills, and a positive attitude. We would like for them to respect our youth when they see them out there, or if they know anyone that could benefit from these core values and join an organization like the Brigade, that they go ahead and do that. Thank you.
You know, I'd say this is my last final word, but I think I missed out one. I'd like to know, like how many groups do you, how many brigades actually that you have at this point?
Well, I think it's between 30, 35 members going strong, and we're looking to increase that number.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Nobody want to talk about the damages, but it costs this society millions of dollars every year, not just in rehabilitation, but if you just look at the mental health issues in this country, you're going to realize that all those who come to make money from the products that they sell don't want to make a contribution that would make a difference or offset the damage that has been done, far less to reach to the point where it benefits us. Look at the medical school. Beautiful project. I remember telling Commissioner Lynch, my friend, the cafeteria could be local. The dorms could be local. The garbage collection has to be local. The sale of medical books be local people. What does it take to really do that? These are even simpler chores than the ones you are talking about. Our analyst, you refer to the Netherlands quite a bit. The Netherlands have gone into the genetics of the marijuana plant and were able to increase the yield more than 100%, leaving like 15% of THC, going towards 30%. How do our growers, who starts with normal plants, compete with people who have taken it to that level and still bring the proceeds that they bring back to us? I've been in this field, toiling with it for a long time on the rehabilitative side, by choice, but almost by obligation, because I had to get involved in this to be able to take it away from my home, because people were coming there for help. So I'm not saying no. I'm saying that our job is one of first changing the mindset of our people. Getting our youth, forget about prevention for right now, getting our youth so aware of the benefits that they can have as being a professional in this particular area, so that we can have them grow as the industry begins with it, so that it becomes a real local cultivated thing in all aspects, so that we can then say truly that we leave all the myths behind, but we have developed a product in such a way that it could be beneficial to the users, of course, who have the freedom to do so, but that it's so well controlled that we not be looked upon as another trafficking joint or spot where we would have international, restrictions being placed on us long before we could get anywhere with it, because we would have, by virtue of trying, failed in an area that would jeopardize our situation internationally. And we have that particular problem. We discussed that yesterday, right here.
What role does cannabis play in our country's culture? Because if we notice, it was in a lot of other cultures. We spoke about America, we spoke about China, and we spoke about the Netherlands. But let's speak a little bit about St. Martin. What role does that play in our culture? In your opinion, the panel's opinion, why are so few people not in favor, maybe I'm listening to the wrong crowd, in legalizing cannabis? Why? Because they were indoctrinated. Then again, how would society change if marijuana was legalized? How it would change, and I'm talking about not the United States, but in a small society as St. Martin, how would that change? And especially for Mr. Ross, what comes to mind when you hear the word cannabis, marijuana, cannabis? What comes to mind? And other people may use that also. What comes to mind before we delve into this? If cannabis is legalized, what can be expected, let me say it this way, if it comes to the pricing, and I think Mr. Yaktani spoke about it, and legal limits. What is too much? What is too much? And what will be the legal buying age? What will it be? Because we have a lot of kids, and what will be the legal age for that use? Everybody knows that cannabis is known as a gateway drug. It's a gateway drug. And will this therefore lead to increased use? In other words, let me put it in a different way. Do you foresee an increased use and abuse, so to speak, of other illicit drugs, such as heroin, cocaine, and the other stuff? Because it is always, in my job, you start with cannabis, but not always you end with cannabis. That's why I'm calling it a gateway to other use of other drugs. Would this in turn lead to higher incidence of drug-related crime? Because a lot of time you hear they were under the influence of alcohol or some other substance, illegal substance. Is the argument that marijuana leads people, and I'm saying it again, but in other words, to harder drugs, reason to ban it? That's the reason that we're banning it?